Okay, so the fix was amazingly simple. I basically figured it out the moment I stopped it. But oh well, I will share it with you because you need to know, and this will block you as well, most likely. So, first of all, you see the icon in the upper right corner, the one that I'm pointing with my mouse now, the one that I is lighten up the wireless symbol, not of my Mac, but of this virtual machine. It needs to look like this. Why didn't it work? As you can see, it's working now. So if I type in ping google.com, the pings are passing through. And if you think that I did some shenanigans with the network, I did not touch it. You see the network status is still not attached at all. I didn't touch this. What I did basically, what happened here is pretty much what happened. What does happen sometimes when I switch from my wired to wireless connection. Uh, it basically keeps on using the wired interface even though there's no connection on it, and it doesn't know that I've disconnected it or something like that. It still sticks to the IP there and it attempts to send packets through that interface, but it simply cannot. It's not possible. Therefore, what you need to do is the following. So just clear the screen and type in ifconfig eth0. You see this is the Ethernet interface, and you need to type in ifconfig eth0 down, and then you need to basically type this command in. Where do I have it? There we go. So systemctl space restart space network manager, enter. Just restart it. That's all you need to do. And I can type in ifconfig again. The interface is back up now, but you see that it does not have an IPv4 address at all. There is no IPv4 address here. Rather, instead, the IPv4 address is here. As you can see, it's 192.168.1.10. And there you have it. It's there. It's functioning. I can use it. So if I type in ping google.com again, it works. It's passing through. I'm going to stop it, and let's try to open up Udemy one more time. There we go. I'm not using my Mac connection at all here. I can actually turn the Wi-Fi off on my Mac, and I am still going to be able to do this. Here, let me open Udemy Facebook. It's gonna open it up. Maybe it's gonna be a bit tardy, a bit slow, but it's a virtual machine, so yeah, forgive it. There you go. I mean, it will open the site. It's just a little bit slow. There you go. It's open. I just wanted to demonstrate, even though, look, my Wi-Fi is off on my MacBook Pro and I don't have any connection now on it. I'm gonna turn it back on. But that's it. So look, this is the very first time in my entire life, I mean literally in my entire life, that I've used a Mac. Sure, I come from a long background of Linux and I have used it extensively and I have suffered with it extensively until I've learned it, but this for me is the very first time that I've used a Mac. Sure, the Linux does give me a bit of an advantage to a Windows user, but still, keep in mind, this is the very first time that I've used a Mac in my entire life, and I have managed to get this to work. This was the first try in front of everybody live. As you saw, I encountered stupid problems. I encountered stupid errors. Too none of them were too complicated or complex, but they were just kind of stupid. I mean, I didn't know how to unzip a file on a Mac. Basically, it was that stupid. So I went onto the net and I researched for Homebrew, and I figured out that there is something called Homebrew, and there's Mac ports, and I've researched extensively on Stack Overflow, on Buffer Overflow, actually Stack Overflow. I've looked through the Apple's forums, I've looked everywhere, and I've figured out whether they're safe or not. And then I went through all these installations, and as you can see, they were kind of slow. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I was inching and moving and figuring it out together with you. And I wanted to do it this way because this puts me in your shoes. This puts me in the shoes of somebody who has experienced problems, and this basically like this, I can view it from your perspective, and you see it does work. There is no need to install anything on a Mac. You don't need any additional drivers on it. Nothing. You just need to download the extensions for VirtualBox. That's it. Plug a USB in. Your Mac won't see it. You won't be able to use it on your Mac. If you want to use it on your Mac, you can go and download the drivers for it if you really want it, but I don't think there's no point to use it on a Mac. I mean, you already have a wireless card in a Mac. And I've just downloaded the extensions from Oracle VirtualBox, plugged the USB in. There was no activity on it until I booted up the Kali Linux virtual machine, which took control of the USB, and I was able to utilize it here in the VM. So first try, things were hairy, but I managed to go through it all and managed to set it up without any problems of whatsoever. So it does. This is a proof that it works on a Mac without any problems. This is Yosemite latest updates. Sure, the Mac is a little bit old, it's 2011, but it's running Yosemite on latest updates, and basically there's not that much different from Mac from 2015. I mean, sure, you have a better display, but that doesn't affect your USB. You have a bit of a different hardware inside, but again, doesn't affect your USB port pass-through. That's pretty much the same. Maybe the only thing that can be different from this Mac and from the one in 2015 is that one that was produced in 2015 will be a lot faster than this one, perhaps due to flash storage and perhaps a better processor, better RAM, and so on and so forth. If you have any questions, if you get stuck anywhere along the way, you are of course free to post your questions in the discussion section. I, as always, will be more than happy to help you all out as much as I can. But the very first thing that I would advise you to do is to actually just take a deep breath, walk away from your computer, come back, take a look at the lecture one more time, slowly see what I've done. I haven't skipped any of the steps. I at least hope that I didn't, and try to redo the process. Also, there are many forums that are your friends. You can go to Apple forums, you can go to Linux forums. One of the Linux forums that I would recommend is linux.org, Linux Questions, and then you can go to Stack Overflow as well. They have a really nice section. They have some really nice sections there as well. Anyway, I really hope that this has helped you out a ton and that you have managed to get it to work on a Mac. As you can see, it's not really that much different from a Windows installation or from a Linux installation. Well, it's a little bit different from a Linux installation, but it's not that different from a Windows installation at all. And I have chosen the simplest possible way of installing a Kali VM within Mac. So I didn't even perform the installation with an ISO. I just downloaded a pre-packed version for VirtualBox so that you wouldn't have to bother with any of those things. I bid you all farewell, and let me know in the discussions what you think of this. Was this helpful, and would you like to see more videos in regard to Mac, and what sort of videos would you like to see with Mac? Anything that's doable or that makes sense, I will take into consideration and perhaps try to do. Till then, I bid you farewell.